This is The Mud Peddlers, a podcast where two nerdy ceramic artists share the behind the scenes of their worlds of clay. We are your hosts, Lindsey M Dillon.
And I am Donte of Earth Nation.
This week on The Mud Peddlers, frankly, it's a mystery to me.
Well, it's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas.
It's also almost all the other winter holidays that are mostly ignored by popular culture.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So, at my job, there's...
Wait. Before you say things, I feel like I have to explain a little bit of what's happening here.
We're going to talk about the things people want for Christmas as potters.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so basically what happened, friends, is Donte and I... sitting right next to the recorder is a plaster mold.
A plaster mold.
We've been practicing plaster molding.
We're trying to learn to slip cast together, but Lindsey's far more advanced than I am, so I'm just kind of watching her do it.
And to be honest, it's mostly just me following a set of instructions I've had since college.
Right.
But I was sitting and I was like, oh man, there's an episode coming up on Monday. Holy balls, I have not planned holy balls.
Holy balls.
Holy balls. And then Donte was like, Lindsey, I got you.
I got it.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
Also, I'm going to turn off the heater because it's going to be doing some weird...
It is doing the crackling right now,
thing.
Yeah. And Lindsey has like an oil heater where it heats up oil and it exudes heat.
Yeah, it's really great. It's energy efficient. But it's also really loud sometimes.
It is very loud, actually.
All of a sudden you go... Except like bubbling sounds.
It kind of sounds like you're frying just fish.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Ooh, fish. Ooh.
I think you're just hungry.
I am hungry. I ate an entire, probably, half a cup of...
No, that's not food. No, don't.
It's acorn flour. No. I learned, guys, I'm learning...
No, acorn flour is not food.
I'll be posting about it to my Patreon soon, but I am slowly becoming a squirrel in real life.
Very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. But hey, squirrels are cute. So, what can I say?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They have little faces.
They're black death-carrying rodents, and they're the only...
Excuse me, it was the Toboggan Marmot that covered the Black Plague.
What? It was rats.
Toboggan Marmot.
And squirrels.
All right.
Any rodents. The only reason I like cats, I'm about to make some enemies, is because they kill the things that carry disease half the time.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fight you.
Sorry.
Cats are great. You just have a...
My cat sucks.
I just think you don't like your cat. I think you need to meet my cat.
I think, and we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic.
We are.
Well, what I don't like is cat owners are always like, my cat's different. And then I meet their cat and I'm like, no, it's not. It's the same. It's the same.
Oh my God. Okay. I gotta say, this does feel a little blasphemous to be talking about what potters want for Christmas I'll just say the winter holidays because I would like to be inclusive. So.
Sure. So I wanted to kind of go down the list of things that I think would be helpful for people to receive as gifts, because the gift-giving holidays are coming, and we are... Stop.
Sorry.
We are potters.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm sorry. I'm good. I'll be good.
But I find that this is a good time of year to ask, your relatives or your friends or significant others for things that you usually wouldn't be able to afford or you wouldn't buy yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I
think in the midst of this, I also would love to hear what you have received as a ceramics gift.
I find that a lot of the things that are quote-unquote ceramics gifts often have nothing to do with ceramics. For example, the thing that I really love in my studio is an electric water kettle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, during the winter, it's the best. I make tea with it. If I have throwing water, and I'm not wasting water, I'm not dumping out my throwing water every time.
Yeah.
So I'll just heat up some water and add a little bit of hot water to it so it's not freezing cold.
Such a good idea.
Oh my god, I put it in my reclaim. If I want to make a glaze, I have a pot of hot water there. Not like it needs to be hot.
Yeah.
But I don't have to go out to the hose to get the tap water I usually use to make my glazes. It has so many purposes. But it has nothing to do with ceramics.
Yeah.
It's just
did you receive that as a gift?
Yeah, it was, well, what happened is last Sack Anime, the one before last one, I broke mine, and then someone gifted me a new one. Because I dropped mine, it's made of glass.
Oh, okay.
So it essentially died, but I've never been in a studio without, a hot water kettle of some sort, especially electric. Right? And I love them so much.
Oh, that's lovely.
I know, right?
Lovely. Yeah. Funnily enough, the gifts, the biggest gifts for me for ceramics were both my wheel and my kiln were actually
really?
Gifts from family. And it was funny. So Okay, so this is kind of this is a really, really morbid humor.
Don't ask for a kiln. That's a bit of a stretch.
No, I didn't ask.
You can get away with it.
So here's the thing. I was actually saving up for both of these things.
Okay.
And then it was like, my family gifted them to me anyways, which is, again, I like, obviously I gotta admit, like, that is major privilege to be like, the most expensive
There's
parts.
like the 2 most expensive things you can need in ceramics.
Yeah, and they were given to me. So like 100% I recognize that as pure ass privilege.
Right.
But what's morbid about it is that I almost okay. Sorry, Kenzie, my sister. I'm going to be telling the story. But for those of you who don't know, my sister passed away about 8 years ago, and it was kind of came out of the blue. She's one of the many folks who passed from an accidental opiate overdose, and for reasons that I'm sure I don't need to go into, it was incredibly traumatizing for many reasons. But during one of the days in the hospital, I remember thinking, I don't know, it was late at night. God knows my eyes were puffy from crying. I was sleep deprived. And I just had this thought sitting in the hospital being like, oh, well, I asked for that pottery wheel this year. I'm probably going to get it now.
Oh. No, Lindsey!
I know, it was so morbid. But I swear to God, the kind of stuff that comes into your head when you're just like,
I mean, when you're
in a situation like that. So, anyway.
When you're in that state, it's like, I really blame you for your brain going into the... What's that called? What kind of thoughts are those called? Intrusive thoughts?
Intrusive thoughts? Yeah,
well,
I think that
thought definitely intruded.
Definitely intrusive. It was like, this is the most inappropriate thing to be thinking
That
right
thought
now.
wasn't intrusive. It was in the house.
It was just there. The call is coming from inside the house.
Inside the house, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so what do you think are some of the best, like, gifts that you could ask for as a ceramic artist?
Okay, so...
And I apologize in advance, by the way, that we are doing this before Thanksgiving. It feels sacrilegious to be talking about the holidays.
You should be doing it before Thanksgiving, because then you have time to get the stuff.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, from this point on, you have a month to think about the things and marinate on the things that we've talked about here. But if we let it go on, like, Christmas Eve, you'd be like, thanks.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That sure was time for me to get my ducks in a row.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay, I hear you.
Oh.
Ooh, you know what? Okay, and a fun thing is that if you have, dear listener, if you have suggestions as well that we don't get to, pop them in the comments. Or if you're listening, then send us a message on the socials and stuff.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
This one time.
Oh, wait, and also post the shops that you recommend.
This one time. Y'all can message me on Instagram to give me things. Because Lindsey don't be checking her email.
No, I don't.
Lindsey does not check her email. But
I know I check my email. I just haven't been checking my...
Yeah.
Yeah. I swear to God, guys, I will get back to being a regular social media person, but I will more often see comments than I will, like, read the messages, because the graveyard of unanswered messages in my inbox is so problematic for my...
Yeah.
I'm in therapy. I'm working on it.
I've stopped reading comments altogether on my YouTube almost, unless they're like questions, just because people leave weird comments of stuff that I'm like, I don't have the time to prove to you why what you just said's wrong.
That's fair.
Somebody will say something and be like, actually, and I'm like, but I also don't want to engage with you, because, like, aside from me showing up and doing the experiment in front of your face, it's kind of useless, because you're just going to send me somebody's Facebook post, essentially.
And I'm going to be like, no, it doesn't fucking...
Now I'm going to be like, it doesn't work that way. That's not how crazing works, guys. Like, I will say right out of the gate, there's a couple of gifts that, unless you got escalator money, just don't ask for them. Unless you got, like, the setup... Right, and I think you're a bit of an outlier, but, like, don't be asking for a full-blown kiln.
Yeah.
Right, a tester kiln maybe, $200, and even that's pricey, but don't be asking for a full-blown wheel. You know what I mean? And
I feel like that's advice we probably don't even need to share.
Yeah,
I feel like people probably know, like, that's a lot.
Well, what often happens is, I kind of assume my viewership knows that I shouldn't have to mention it in the first place, and there's always one of you nerds who's like, what about a wheel and a kiln? I have to cover you because you can't read context. So I have to address you before you address me.
So let's start with, so what if you have an auntie who just, like, wants to splurge something really nice? What's like a, like, let's start from the top, like, the most expensive gifts, and let's go down.
You want to go most expensive down?
Yeah.
Can I do most expensive relatable and then down? Because, like, a kiln is the most expensive, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's most expensive relatable. So, like, after a kiln, after a wheel, or at least like a really expensive wheel. Because I think you could probably ask for like a little tabletop wheel. It's only going to be a couple $100.
Yeah, maybe one of the Vivors. I will say, if I were being smart about it, and I were in a position to where I went to a studio to do my work, because I don't have my own home studio or a place to practice or something like that, I would most likely ask my relatives and those around me, hey, just pay for like a month of my studio fees. That way I can have, you know, even if like $80 to $100, $100 will keep you good in practicing for another month.
That's a really good point.
Find out where they go, right? Find out what ceramic shop or ceramic place they go to, and then go up there and say, hey, I'm the XYZ of XYZ, and I would like to pay for a month worth of their... And just don't even tell them. Just let them have it.
Or you could make like a little certificate that says, this is worth...
Right, you could definitely buy them the equivalent of like a gift certificate.
Yeah, when my family gave me the kiln. Well, my mom actually made a kiln god.
Oh, okay.
And then put it in like a little box that said like from like your mom, your dad, and like the person that my mom was dating at the time.
That's
cute. Who helped to pay for it. But anyway.
That's adorable.
It was very cute. And that's still the kiln god I use on the top of my kiln for every firing sense.
Nice. Very good. Very good story.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything?
Oh, man. All right. Well, okay.
I value little things. It's like little things that make like the water heater thing, big.
Yeah.
Have that in your studio, especially if you live in a colder place. Like if you're in New York, have a couple of those in the studio.
Yeah, no, that is I might have to give that a try.
You know what I mean?
I would say for a gift, especially if you are someone who like how do I say? I'd say if you don't have this already and you make a fair amount of stuff, like not necessarily production level, but if if you're like somewhat regularly, going to events, or you're making, stuff to the point where sanding feels like it's taking up a lot of time, or like your wrists are getting sore.
Yeah.
Like I am a huge fan of the sanding discs. Yeah, sanding discs. And I know the ones from Diamond Core are the ones that I have. I know there are other brands and like ways that you could make them that are, I think are cheaper. I just use Diamond Core because it's the brand that I'm most familiar with. But my aunt actually bought me. It was really sweet. She saw me post something about it on Instagram, and she was like, "Lindsey, I want to buy this for you," and it was really sweet. So I feel like the Diamond Core sanding pads, there are a couple different kinds. I use the medium grit one the most. And I want to say those are like between like 60 and like 90. I can't remember. It's been a while. I've used them for literally years, and they have sanded down hundreds of cups.
You're talking about the ones that attach to your wheel, like
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They basically they attach to your wheel. They go in circles, and when I'm experimenting with new glazes and then they run more than I think, the amount of time that I save being able to use the little sanding disc instead of using, because Diamond Core and other brands also have like the little handheld sanders that you can use.
I love the handheld sanders.
Yeah. I used to use those a lot, but I needed to grind things down more, and it just in general makes it, even when I don't have like any glaze problems, just sanding it down, it takes like 30 seconds instead of like a minute or two.
I use the discs for grinding, and I use the pads for like just regular sanding. That being said, you can also just buy sandpaper. I've seen some. So here's the difference, right? Diamond Core are way more durable than a normal sanding thing you would get at somewhere like Lowe's, which is the place that I go to for now. But like, if you went to somewhere like Lowe's or a home improvement store and you bought a bunch of sandpaper and you somehow stuck it on with adhesive to a bat, it would technically work.
Yeah.
Right? And be less expensive.
But it would also wear down hella fast.
It would wear down way faster.
Yeah.
Way faster. And
I'm sure there are some, like, I'm sure there are materials that are like, not just sandpaper, but that are like stronger than sandpaper.
I'm hesitant to say that Diamond Core has actual diamond grit in their stuff, which is why it doesn't whittle down as much. But like, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I have no idea what the actual materials are. I remember going to Ensika and being told that there are other companies that do similar things for less.
Yes.
But I just don't know them off the top of my head. But like, I've used similar kinds of, like, the carving tools that Diamond Core is also really popular for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I bought another brand that does something very similar.
Like a third price.
Yeah. So it's, so again, it's worth it's worth looking around. So again, if you're asking for gifts, if you find some things that, on sale, again, the holidays, usually there's some sort of sale going on these sites.
Right.
And again, like kind of general note, as much as you can buy direct from the company, like try not to use Amazon, just because if you're buying from the local company, it's like better for, it's just
better. It's just better for the environment as far as the local company goes. The mom and pop. And when I say environment, I don't mean like trees. I mean just your general surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
I will say buying from Amazon is almost, I wouldn't say just as good, but it's almost infinitesimally worse than buying directly for, like, if you wanted to buy something from Amico, you could technically buy Amico glazes on Amazon. But they're going to upcharge you because Amazon has to buy it from Amico and then they have to ship it. Mm-hmm. They're going to upcharge you. And the shipping's also crazy. Just buy it directly from Amico.
Yeah, it cuts out Amazon. And if you don't agree with what Amazon does, like politically or with their workers and such, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely up to you. But I'd say even if you did or didn't believe in them politically or where they spend their money, going directly to the source just cuts out the middleman, and the middleman is going to charge you. Mm-hmm. You know,
and sometimes that cost will go to you. Sometimes it'll be paid by the company. It's just like a few different ways.
It's getting paid though, that's for sure. The one thing that I love, my mom won't stop giving me these. My background, you know how I was raised.
Yeah.
So I've always had a pair of shoes, a pair of work shoes, and if I'm really lucky, a pair of backup shoes.
Yeah.
But now I've gotten to a comfortability level where like I just have like 5 pairs of shoes, and I'm a dad who's very close to the age of 40. So now I have Crocs.
You've got dad Crocs.
I do.
Cute.
Here's the thing though.
Tell me.
They make fantastic studio shoes.
Oh.
Get yourself ask for a pair of studio slippers.
Okay, why do they make good studio shoes?
They make good studio shoes because they're gonna get dirty anyway. Here's the thing with regular slippers, even a pair of loafs, which is what the kids on the street call them, they get silica and dust trapped in the cloth of them, right? We don't have that problem with Crocs.
Don't your feet get cold?
No, not really. No, not really. I mean, in the summertime, it's just like Crocs and feet. But like you could put a pair of socks on your Crocs.
Socks on Crocs.
Not that
Crocs.
I would do that ever, but you could. That's blasphemy from the younger version of me is like, you loser. But I will say Crocs kind of fix the problem, especially having studio shoes, that I have with tracking dirt in through the house because my studio is attached to my house.
Yeah.
It also fixes the problem of just having dust in my shoes all the time because I used to wear like these kind of cloth slippers type things.
Yeah.
And
actually, I think I remember seeing those back.
They break down.
Yeah.
Because like I'm doing pottery in them.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around a lot of them, and I'm going back and forth a lot, and they're dusty, and they're dirty, and they have brown clay and white clay in them, and glazed minerals in them, and red iron oxide, and yellow iron oxide, and I don't really have to worry about that with Crocs. Not that we're sponsoring Crocs. It's just,
none of these like companies and like items, like this is not a sponsored episode. We're giving them free ass advertising.
I take those things out to the hose, and I spray them down, and I let them dry a little bit, which by the way, they don't have to really dry. There's no water to evaporate out of the actual structure.
Yeah, because they're like plastic.
Because they're plastic. They're meant to last for damn ever. Unfortunately, plastic. But get yourself or ask for a nice pair of studio shoes.
Oh my God.
And stop tracking dirt into the house. Put your studio shoes at the door, if you have a studio at home, at the door, okay, and then take them off before you enter the home.
Okay.
Okay,
all right.
Because I'm so sure there's little white footprints, or brown, depending on your clay, I'm so sure in your kitchen, okay, the dog has footprints on them.
Oh my God, the little...
Just take your studio shoes off. But this does kind of stop you from having to wear like your everyday work shoes or running shoes or something like that in the studio, and then being like, well, these are the shoes that I wear around, and then you have tracks everywhere.
Yeah, I'm currently having a bit of that issue myself because I recently bought a nice pair of like walking running shoes because that's what I've been doing more for like exercises, just like even just like going on walks. But like, I want to take care of my ankles, take care of the knees, take care of the hips, take care of the back. So I've been wearing them in the studio a lot more, but then the tracking things becomes a thing. So I'm like, maybe I just need a pair of like 2 pairs of shoes.
Yes.
Because it's, if you're standing, also like that's another thing is like if you're standing in the studio a lot, walking around, moving around on like concrete, which I think most of us are.
Right.
Just those little things, like remember to take care of your back and stuff.
No. Absolutely. Yeah.
I wish I'm trying to think of
I have a bunch of them.
Ooh, okay.
But
tell me more.
all mine are little things that I'm like, these things have made a drastic difference to me. Crocs are relatively expensive in the aspect of like studio shoes.
How much?
Like 50, 60
Okay.
for a pair of Crocs.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I don't mind paying 50 or 60 because they're easy to wash. They last forever. You can dunk them in a pot of like water and soap and they dry out in no time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like unlike cloth shoes, which are more comfortable on the whole, but like they just absorb a lot more dust and dirt more readily.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As for Crocs, are just easier to clean. And again, I'm not a fanboy of Crocs. If there was another company that made the same type of shoe and my mom would not stop giving me those, I would just wear those.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the word Crocs because they seem to be the biggest brand of like just plastic shoes that everybody kind of knows.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to buy yourself another brand, go ahead. I'm not a Croc loving boy. Right? Another big one that I didn't know I needed was a stool with a ring around the foot of the stool.
Oh, yeah.
Because potters love to lift their leg to get a little bit of height in their products.
Mm-hmm.
Old school potters, such as myself, will have like a brick next to their wheel so they can put their foot on the brick. But if you have a stool that has the ring around it, it fixes that problem.
Yeah.
You can
I
get
feel
them
like a stool is a little awkward thing to have as a gift, though. Like, I don't know. I feel like...
It'd be
like,
extra personal to me.
Yeah. No, it is super personal. I'm just like, I don't know. Gifts are weird because it's like, there's some things that are just like weird to give. Not weird, but like culturally you think of like, oh, a stool as a gift. Like it just sounds
that's weird,
odd.
Right?
Yeah.
If you got me a stool with the ring around it, I'd be like, wow, you really know me.
Yeah.
Right? But if you...
That's true.
If you bought me like a gamer chair for my throwing,
Ooh.
I'd be like, I get where an average person who doesn't know what I do on a daily basis would say, oh, this is an expensive...
nice
comfortable
chair. You can be
nice
sitting
chair.
in it. It's
right.
just like...
But like that's not the way we use chairs. We need to be kind of level with our hips and the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise you're throwing like above your own hip level and it's just not... Stool's perfect.
Yeah.
An adjustable one?
Mm-hmm. Adjustable stool like the ones that they have at IKEA.
Yeah, I'm telling you, IKEA has them for like $30-$40.
Great. Love that.
Stop
Great
buying
price.
Stop buying them from Nidec.
Nidec?
Nidex. It's a brand of like pottery tools.
Oh.
The NIDEC. They sell them for like $80. Yes. Go to IMCO and go look on the top right corner of their shelves. They will have one up there. It's blue and white, has Nidec on it. It's literally just a IKEA stool that's differently colored.
Interesting.
It's the same damn stool.
I'm gonna be real. I use a dinner chair for my stool, my throwing thing. But it works out great because it has like, two of the four legs.
Need to get Lindsey a stool.
No, I like my little chair. It's nice. It's an antique. It's really sad because it's like this poor chair has... All of these chairs came from the same set and I kind of refuse to like destroy them or like throw them away because they're like nice ass like wooden chairs like from like the 30s or some shit.
Yeah. Old things are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at least this. It's well made, I'll say that much. I'm sitting on a very well-made chair, which makes me think of another thing potentially that could be a gift. Well, no, that's a little weird, but I was thinking like a stool cushion or something like that. But I don't use a cushion when I throw. But I'm also like, both of us are like also relatively young, so we don't have to wear like...
Well, we're also fast enough to not have to sit there for more than like 5 hours at a time. If I was sitting down for like more than maybe even 2 hours to make like 5 cups, my ass would hurt all the time. But I do my work and I leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've had some people say that, like, again, when you get older, like, your back becomes more of a thing. Mm-hmm. So it's less about your ass hurting, it's more about your back hurting.
That's fair.
But
just do heavier
deadlifts. Oh my god.
Do heavier deadlifts.
Okay, all right, toxic Dante. I see you. Yeah. I think, okay, so what's... Oh, okay. Well, no, that's a smaller one down the line. What's another thing that's... Oh, aprons. A really nice apron.
A good Claypron?
Yes.
Claypron sponsor me.
Claypron
goes a long way.
Okay, I actually don't... Okay, I really lucked out because I had a friend who sews make me a Claypron, and it is an apron, a clay... Anyway, sorry, it's not the brand Claypron, because she's just...
Claypron's the brand, you're talking about an apron that's for clay.
Yeah, I'm talking about an apron that's for clay.
Yes.
And it is the best apron I've had, and... I don't know any actual other brands then okay, so
I only know Claypron and I'm a Claypron boy.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay. Tell me why you're a Claypron boy.
It comes with pockets.
Okay, so you're okay.
And they split down the middle, so it looks like I'm wearing chaps.
Yeah,
so
but it overlays, right?
It overlays from the belly up essentially,
and
then from down, it's like a pair of pants that don't connect around the back, pretty much.
Okay, I hear you.
I
hear
have
you.
3 Claiborns.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, because they go on sale at the end of the year at IMCO almost every year. They're like 20% off at IMCO right now.
Oh, man. And that's Industrial Minerals Company. So
Yes.
And they have their online store?
I think so. Yeah, they have their own app and everything, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I would love a good... But honestly, and this is going to sound judgmental, stop getting like old Jamba Juice aprons.
It's not good.
It's not good. They're thin. They don't really absorb anything. And granted, the jean ones don't really absorb anything either. But like, I wipe my hands on my Claiborne all the time.
Yeah.
And it works out just fine. But
I feel like coverage is the biggest difference. Like, cause the apron that I used to use... Well, okay, I'll say the apron that I use more during the summer, if I use an apron at all. That one was an IKEA apron that I, like, cut up the middle so that it laid on either leg.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes, I feel like, a really good clay apron is the amount of coverage and, like actually having it go, kind of higher up to your chest so that you're getting less, like, clay splatter on your shirt.
Yeah.
Like, really full coverage on the legs. Because if you're using, like, if you're, like, reusing another kind of apron... and it doesn't have basically a blanket going over either side of your legs.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get clay on the inside of your leg. Because the apron is not gonna fully cover the outside and the inside of your leg. And so you're gonna get clay splatters. And then it kind of feels like wearing the apron was useless.
When I first started teaching my classes at Sun City and I was throwing, I brought my Claiborne. And they were like, oh, that's normal. And then I brought a towel to lay over my lap. So not only do I have my pants, I also have the Claiborne on each leg. And then I also have the towel, a big towel set over, like a big beach towel set over. And everybody didn't laugh, but one person called it a diaper. They were like, oh my God, this diaper. And I was like, trust me, you're going to want this. As people started to get interested in wheel throwing, because they were primarily a sculptural class, people started like, okay, I need to get me a towel.
Yeah. And I'm like, interesting. I still don't use a towel. Maybe I should.
I'd say just try it once, and if you like it. The thing that I like about using a towel over my Claiborne in general, or over my clothes in general, is the fact that whenever I need to do something that's not clay-centric, like if I need to change my music, or answer my phone, or just get up and I wash my hands, I get to dry or wash my hands off of my towel. I don't have to use my Claiborne because it's jean material. It doesn't really absorb much. But if I just have a towel on me at all times... guess what I'm washing my hands off on?
Oh, see, what I do is I tend to, like, get up, wash my hands in, like, a bucket of water, and then I have a small dish towel hung somewhere in the studio that I use to dry off my hands.
I see.
Because...
you gotta do the same thing I do. You just have a smaller towel.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's not laying over my legs.
That's fair.
But yeah, I feel like a good apron is going to be a little bit more expensive. But again, if you get a good one, it is going to, it's actually going to do the job. Like, I probably went through, like, 4 different aprons. Okay, another thing, too, with aprons, I'm not sure how Claiborne is, but I prefer aprons that don't have anything that you, like, step into. Like, because there are some that, have things that you...
What do you mean step into?
Like, okay.
Like pants?
Kind of. Like, okay, so I had this apron, somebody got it for me, that...
chaps?
No, they're kind of like assless chaps if the assless part went basically all the way down to like 2 inches above the
Oh, it just
the
connects
bottom.
by your heels?
Yeah, or it connects like it connects like mid-calf. So the apron the apron that I have it's split down the middle, so it has like the 2 leg sections.
Okay.
But then instead of it just being like open free fabric, there's like a bit of fabric linking, like, so basically as you walk.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to describe it for the audience because again, sadly not a visual medium.
It's a Claiborne if it tied around your calves.
Basically, like not super tight, but like in general. I like aprons that don't have any stuff to futz about around your legs because it's just more to deal with when you're taking it on or taking it off. So anyway, that's my little bit with aprons.
I don't mind that, but I will say this is horrible for Claiborne. I fell off a ladder like 2 weeks ago. I didn't tell you this.
What?
I didn't tell you this. I'm
Donte!
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll be jumping things on you like this. I'm so sorry.
God.
And I lost like all my work. I had a whole plate of like cups, and they are just all like leather soft. Yeah, and I just lost. But the reason I fell off the ladder is because the ladder is only like 2 feet big, and as you're climbing up, even wide. And as I climbed up, I stepped on
the apron.
I stepped on my own apron because they weren't attached to anything.
Oh.
And if they were attached, granted, I know now, just take your damn apron off instead of inventing a whole new apron to fix this problem. Right? Like, why put into
Yeah.
production with resources something that you can just easily fix by being smarter than you are at the moment? But I was like, man, if I was not wearing this Claybrin, I would not have fallen off this ladder.
But we fully acknowledge that's Dante's fault.
I fully acknowledge that's my fault, and I'm not gonna go Karen up the studio and be like, "Did you know your aprons are dangerous?"
Yeah.
I'm not that dumb, right? I'm dumb enough to fall off the ladder, though, for sure. That's for dang sure.
It's okay. I almost did something very similar. When I dressed up the day after the election in my Handmaid's Tale outfit to go and like protest, Hella almost tripped up the stairs on the way because I was like, "This is a long ass cloak." It's very warm though. It was excellent to stay warm in.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And we're California cold, so like...
Yeah, we don't have snow.
Whenever I say I'm cold, there's always one person who's like, "I was born in Alaska. You have no idea what cold is, boy."
And it's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it doesn't get that cold.
Don't make weather your whole personality, but yeah, totally.
I feel like every moment you are fighting against the straw men who are coming at you in the comments.
I guarantee you.
They just live. There are so few people
so many
that
of them.
actually come at you. But in the broad
It's like
scheme,
one a month.
Right?
It's like a one a month
Yeah,
in the
out of
broad
everybody
scheme,
who
to
says
be
nice
fair.
things, but I understand the frustration.
Yeah, it's because I see them. They happen frequently enough for me to be like, "There's no way there's this many of you." I understand there's 100 real people for every like one straw man, but the fact that I'm meeting so many straw men is crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So,
But it do be cold. I will say the medium thing that you could probably buy is anyone who's interested in making their own glazes. You can probably set them up pretty well by buying either some dipping and layering glazes from Amico or some Clayscape glazes in powdered form. And that way they can kind of play around with the idea of mixing their own glazes. Because realistically, the step in between making your own glazes and just putting powder and water together is just one away.
dude, oh my gosh.
Does
And
that make
okay,
sense?
yes. And the way that you could like make it like a little gift pack is you buy a scale, you buy a graduated cylinder.
Oh my god.
And then you buy them some powder glaze.
Buy them a scooper.
Ooh, and then put the whole thing in a bucket.
You know what's cool?
A cute bucket, like a
2-gallon bucket.
Yeah.
2 gallons. This should be fine for 5 pounds. Because usually 5 pounds of powder mix makes 1 gallon of glaze, but you need more than one thing to hold. So you need one for water and one for sieving, and then you need one for like the actual things, right? So if you have a couple of those, you can go to a kitchen store and get them easily.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that would be.
I will say like. Kitchen stores. If depending on the person you're either buying the gift for or if you're asking for this yourself.
Yeah.
A bucket doesn't have to be just a gross ass, regular ass bucket.
Oh, okay.
If you can find yourself a cute bucket, then it's worth it.
What's your definition of cute bucket?
I don't know.
Is it smaller and more dainty?
No, maybe it has like,
bunny ears on it?
Maybe it has like a little. Okay, so you know how most like if you buy like a 7 or like a 5 gallon.
You want your bucket to have sex appeal?
No,
I'm very confused.
Okay. Aesthetic appeal.
Aesthetic appeal.
Yeah. So anyway, if you can find it, I guess I'll say this is my general like thing for like making this your like studio space like nicer to work in. Just sometimes it is, especially if you're looking at things as like a gift, is take this opportunity to like find something that's maybe just like a little nicer. So it's like instead of just like the basic ass 5 gallon bucket or whatever size bucket that you might get at like Home Depot.
Yeah, don't get
like,
the 5 gallons when you're starting out.
No, for sure. That's too big. But so I guess overall what I'm trying to say with like buckets or like little small things like that is that if you can find a thing from a company that makes like just slightly more aesthetically cute buckets, sometimes it's nice having prettier things around you when you're in the studio. So that everything doesn't have to be just utilitarian, it can also be aesthetic.
It's a bucket, mate!
Yeah.
You make glaze or you piss in it!
Yeah, but sometimes...
Pick one!
What if you want a little bucket to make it...
Put a sticker of a bunny on the side.
So what you do, you could stick a bunny on the side, or you could have a little bucket that's made out of metal, and you put the bucket, the stuff in the metal bucket, and just water though, and then you have to dry it out afterwards. My accent is changing.
Lindsay wants to make an aesthetic bucket.
I do. I want an aesthetic bucket so bad.
Which is totally fine.
Come at me, clay companies. If you are a clay company and you make aesthetically pleasing buckets, I will buy that shit. Because I am
they're gonna put a pink tax on your buckets,
I don't care.
and you're not gonna like it.
I don't care that it's cute. Here's the thing. I have worked not that hard. I've worked kind of hard to make my studio.
I have worked. All right, not that hard.
Not that hard, yeah. To make my studio area look nice and look cute, and it drives me crazy that in this cute ass wood stained plant, apothecary-ass environment. I've got these big, ugly-ass 5-gallon buckets made out of plastic, and I get that it's functional, but for the love of God, I would spend money.
We have reached the core of the problem, yes.
I want pretty buckets in my life. It is the one part of ceramics that I cannot get aesthetic and cute. And it's upsetting, Donte.
I will say, usually what I do is I go to Lowe's and I go to the paint section.
Yeah.
And the paint section has a variety of buckets. So I don't just have the 5-gallon buckets. If I'm going to a kitchen store, I like the clear ones because I like to see the water separate from the bucket. So I definitely have an aesthetic beyond like the black or orange 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
But overall, if you're just trying to find like a 2-gallon bucket, they have varieties. Go to Lowe's, go in the paint section where the buckets are, and you'll see them.
It's very acceptable. It'll make a nice gift. Get the 5-pound, or get a glaze, powdered glaze, a bucket, a glass
triggered, bro.
Or plastic. I like glass, graduated cylinder, maybe also a hydrometer.
I like hard plastic.
And a scale, and that's your gift basket.
Yes, if you know someone who actively wants to start making glazes, I think a good little gift basket of a pretty good gram scale. Don't spend less than $40 if you're going to wherever you're going.
I counter that. I got mine from $10 on Amazon. And it works fine.
I know, we were using it earlier today. It's trash.
I know. But it works mostly.
Yeah. I will also say don't spend more than like $80 to $100 on a gram scale. Just buy a normal mid-grade gram scale.
Yeah, you don't have to buy like a coffee espresso gram scale.
Yeah. My gram scale was $60 and it's sensitive enough to where I have to turn off the fans in my studio because it will set off it's sensitive enough to where like the fan going behind me will actively mess up the scale.
Jesus.
Yes. Okay. So I bought a pretty good one. I bought a pretty good one for like $60.
I would say a gram scale that nice goes on the upper tier separate from the whole gift basket deal. Because that's a very expensive gift basket.
I would say a gram scale, a scooper, which by the way, the highest of keys, as the children say. Did I say it right? Hello, fellow youth.
Hello, fellow kids.
If you drink protein, you buy protein powder. The scoopers inside the protein powder are fantastic chemical scoopers. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Every time I get a thing of protein, I just save that, and I have an endless supply of them. They're fantastic. Everything has a different density and weight, but they're about like 40 to 60 grams per leveled scoop of material, which is going to help you out in the long run. It sounds weird that I'm saying this now, but it's going to help you out.
No, it's true. There are definitely many ways to reuse things.
100%.
I bought a nice but very cheap spoon from Daiso that is pleasing aesthetically. And that's what I use.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That reminds me, a good light.
Ooh,
a good light.
Yes.
A good ambient, non-hospital light.
Yeah, like a warm light. I will say, again,
for studio aesthetics.
Another kind of weird gift. Buying a lamp, a little weird, but also very nice.
But buying a lamp's a little weird outside of context. Because, like, if you and I were not potters and I bought you a gram scale, what do you think you're doing?
Baking?
You're cooking dough. You're in the kitchen. You're cooking a brick.
I was like, are we in the meth kitchen?
Yes.
Like, okay.
If you have a gram scale.
Okay, yeah.
Well, probably not meth, more summer, but still. Like,
I'm like, baking?
But within that.
Cupcakes?
But within the context of pottery, buying someone like a really nice warm light lamp, it's pretty cool. But don't go for the HDX, working on the construction side of the road, beaming headlight lamp. Like, don't go for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
On that lighting train, I will say, we're experiencing it right now here in the studio. Get yourself, especially, dear friends, dear listener, if you struggle with the SAD or the seasonal affective disorder, if you're in your studio, if you're in your basement,
the hell are you talking about?
Or you're in a studio where all you see when you look out the windows is the dark, bleak night sky of winter.
You belong there.
Of winter. You belong there, yes. But you know what you can do to make your life
natural environment.
a lot better?
What?
You can buy yourself or get yourself, have someone gift you a bunch of candles. It's cute as hell. It makes a studio space, especially during the winter, way less depressing.
I will say candles aren't.
It's real nice.
Yeah, that's...
You get the tall ones, or maybe you can get a bunch of little tea candles.
I think that's more mental
Oh, yes.
helpful than it is pottery helpful.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I
But
do love candles.
It's in the studio, and no joke.
It helps.
There's been a few things I've done to, like, in the studio to try and, like,
Yeah.
make it a bit more, like, sad winter-proof. And candles, no joke, man. They really, really help with, like, later nights. Or even, like, later evenings, because now that it gets dark at, like, 4.
I will say, even if you didn't do pottery, probably the candles are awesome.
Really do. Yeah.
That's kind of outside the field of pottery discussion. But
No, definitely.
I understand that I am the cat calling the kettle black. So
The cat?
Isn't that the term?
It's the pot calling the kettle black.
Pots aren't black.
Pots are definitely black. Oh,
no, kettles are black.
What?
Kettles are black.
No, but pots and kettles are black because they're both black. That's the whole joke.
Pots are silver.
Pots are silver now, but when that phrase came around, it was probably all cast iron.
I just made it up right now.
I'm happy for you.
No, the term. So they can't be black because I'm the one who decided that they're silver.
Oh my god.
But black cats exist.
Yeah, no, but no, I get it. Like, it both kind of works. Oh my god. That's my assertion for candles. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a low tier, less
fair.
expensive gift.
Yeah, I would
all right,
say.
what are some of the other less expensive gifts then for all the little things? What are some of the little
Well,
things?
we should probably go back to the
mid range.
Well, not so much mid range, but just the powdered glaze.
Oh yes, okay.
Like, yeah, giving a nice care package for someone of a scooper and a gram scale, maybe a graduated cylinder for someone who wants to kind of play around with making their own glazes. Maybe even buy them a glaze recipe book would be trill with that, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I will say though, if you just want to dip your toes into the world of just putting a glaze together without worrying about messing anything up, or without like measuring too much stuff or weighing specific gravity, XYZ, you can always just buy one for like $40 to $80 from Amico or from Clayscapes, and they send you about 5 pounds, makes about a gallon of glaze.
And you just mix it in water.
And you just mix it in water. They tell you the amount of water.
That's what Clayscapes does.
That's what Clayscapes does. On top of that, right, about 2 bottles of glaze is already $40. It's 2 pints. Wouldn't you rather have a gallon of your favorite color rather than 2 pints for the same price? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you might as well just do that, to be honest. It saves you a lot of money.
Why am I now thinking that if I had my brain together, we could totally... Could you imagine having, like, a Mud Peddlers Get Your Glaze Started kit, and we could sell it as, like, a gift package? These are the things I think about.
We would have to produce them, though.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's...
And I would be very picky about the gram scale.
Yeah, no. It would definitely be, like, it would be a very specialty thing. But I do think that would be kind of a cool...
It'd be like $150 for like a good gram scale.
Nah, it would be like 200.
Yeah, probably. I lowball things because I'm more interested in getting the product out, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like...
No, it would be a fun thing, but yeah.
And a sieve. We'd have to get like a talisman sieve.
and a little sieve, yeah.
Right?
That would be really nice, though.
It would be super cool.
Especially if we could have sieves, because like most sieves that I think of, like for glaze sieves, are the ones that fit on the 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
But it would be nice, I'm sure it's out there, and if not, it would be an interesting product to make, to have a glaze sieve that's more of like a funnel, so it could like fit different sizes.
They have those. I have 3 of them.
Oh, bless.
Yeah,
okay,
they're like,
good. Knew somebody else had to have thought of this before me. So.
They're the size of like a cup. They would fit on like this measuring cup here.
Yeah.
But they're literally the size of like an actual drinking glass. And you pour your minerals in. They're talisman sieves. Or at least Talisman is the brand that makes them.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, because they're normally used in the kitchen, right?
Or
they look like that kind of...
No. These ones are chemical sieves specifically, right? I don't know if Talisman makes sieves for the kitchen, but I will say if you're looking to use a sieve with your minerals, don't use a kitchen sieve. It's a different type of sieve.
Yeah, because it's usually not like narrow enough.
It's
like
not,
it's not a fine enough sieve.
Right.
Usually.
And they're different ratios as well. Like you can technically get like a 300 something sieve for the kitchen, but a 40 sieve for chemicals is completely different. For minerals,
I think my sieve, what is my sieve? Mine is a 60. I have a 60 sieve.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere above 80.
60 mesh, yeah.
Yeah, going above 80 is like, all right, you're getting extra here. It's silicone carbide working. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. But
to that scale, if anyone wants to start making their own glazes, I'm telling you, just put together one from a company that's prepackaged, and it becomes far less scary. From that point on, you just figure, I just got to put these minerals together and then do the same thing I just did. That's easy. On top of that, a lot of the mixtures they send you in the powders are already homogenized. So you can technically take out like a cup of glaze and mix it with water and that's how much glaze you're using for the day.
Which would also be nice if we had this hypothetical gift package / the hypothetical gift package that you, dear listener, can request your family to put together for you, or your friends, or whoever is potentially buying you gifts this holiday season. Have like it could come with like little mason jars, so you could experiment with the specific gravity, so that you could have. Oh man, I should do this with my own glazes.
I will say I've been through the mason jar phase.
Yeah.
You should honestly just go to a kitchen store, and for $20 they'll give you like 100 of these. And these like little food things.
Yeah, like little plastic.
You'll never have to buy them again,
yeah.
and they don't break.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They're not made of glass.
I'm just thinking aesthetically pleasing, but yes, no, plastic doesn't break. It makes sense, but the point being, like, I think if you do start, and again, this is a little bit of a side topic, but like if you do make. Start making, or if you do start mixing your own glazes from a pre-made powder, I do think like making a couple small batches with like playing with the proportion of water,
100%.
is helpful, because from what I remember, Clayscapes, because that's the only company that I've bought like glaze mixed glaze recipes from. Yeah, they have a recommended hydrometer reading, or in specific gravity, but they don't tell you how much water you need like per. For like if you wanted to make like a quart of glaze or a liter of glaze, they don't tell you how much water you need to put in to get that amount. So it's definitely worth like making a few different smaller batches just to get the like mix right. So. Yeah,
it's also worth it just to test. And I know we're getting off topic here, but just to kind of test your water in the first place. Like pretty soon I'll probably make a glaze composition class somewhere mid-year in 2025, and I'll probably do it at IMCO if they let me, which they might. They've sent me signals of like, we're interested. But I'm definitely going to be like, all right, here's a glaze that we just made together with this many milliliters of water and this many, and then we're going to see vast differences in the glaze. Yeah. Right? And that's a big thing.
And bringing it back to gifts, this would be back in the top tier of gifts. But if you are just starting out in ceramics in general and you've never taken a class, having your family, or I don't know why I keep saying family, but if you want as a gift, you can ask as a gift for a pottery class, and that can be a nice thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, gift a pottery class is great. I will say my last two things. This is just personalized, right? Personally, I'm going to start asking people for like mud tools and Kemper stuff. Yeah. Because them's going out of business if they're not coming back, which is not a sure bet.
Yeah, Kemper is for sure going out of business, and mud tools was really negatively impacted by the hurricanes. Yeah. From what you had said, they're like out of production for at least a year, so.
Yeah, every time I go to the store, I look at mud tools sponges, and I'm like,
yeah,
I should probably buy 7 of those.
Don't panic, leave some for the rest of everybody. Be nice. No. But that's mean.
I'm still angry they didn't make Lilo a Disney princess, so no.
What?
Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah.
She's not a Disney princess.
What?
Lilo from Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Is not a Disney princess, and I'm angry about it.
I don't know how this relates to clay.
It doesn't. I'm just going to buy all the mud tool sponges, and that's your punishment for not making Lilo a Disney princess.
Oh, I understand the line. Okay, I understand the line of logic. Like, we as society don't deserve sponges because...
Correct. You messed up early.
Yeah. That's odd. Because she's not a princess, but she kind of fills the role of a female lead in a Disney movie.
I guess. I just wanted to be a princess.
I'm just gonna look around my studio. What the hell's in here?
Buckets are kind of a big one for me, in the most shambled way in my studio. Like, it sounds weird, but if you bought me a nice, clear, food-safe, sealed, BPA-free, hard plastic, from a kitchen store, like, 2-gallon bucket, I'd be like, oh, yeah. Right? Because those last forever. Yeah. They're great. I get to see my glaze, my water, and my minerals through it. I know exactly how much I've mixed. Like, it's just, there's measurements on the side. It beats out having a 5-gallon bucket and then having to dip when it goes down to like 1 gallon and you're trying to dip a big old piece. It beats it so much more.
Yeah. I think aside from buckets, which yes, a nice bucket is chef's kiss.
It sounds weird, but nice bucket's good.
No, totally. I absolutely understand that. I just wish they were more aesthetically pleasing. But that's beside the point. One other thing I think, I guess my last little recommendation for gifts is I think gifts can be a really great way to obtain a tool that allows you to experiment in a way that maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable investing in like that tool if it was your own cash. You know, like let's say you're thinking about like surface decoration. You've always kind of been like, I wonder about those little roller tools where you can press in a different design and you can buy the different things. You know, like something that like might be a little hyper specific, but also could be fun to experiment with. Because to be honest, like, you know, it might be one of those things where it's like you start out buying you know, the little pre-made roller tools because you're like, I want to experiment with the roller tools.
Yeah, they're nice.
And then like cut to 2 years later and you're like hand carving your own, you know, linograph carving tools because that one little exploration that you didn't think was going to go anywhere ends up opening up a whole ass other branch.
Bought a 3D printer to make your own tools.
Yeah. And it's really cool. Like I think, I don't know, like in general, this is a little bit off topic, but a positive note to close out on, kind of around the topics of like creativity and stuff is it's like, I've been watching, like, I think specifically Birdie Tam has been doing so much cool research and development with her ceramics and her work. And it's honestly really inspiring to see like the tools that she's experimenting with, the different like surface, like decoration methods. It's really cool. So,
she's a big experimenter and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because on the other side of the aisle, I see people, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I often, not a lot, but I see people like find their thing and they just do it for like 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what I've been doing to some degree because, again, like so much of a thing is like, it's really, like, part of the reason I like really respect Birdie for the way that she's able to manage her time is that like I often struggle with like taking time aside for research and development because I'm like, well, I don't have time for R&D because like I got to pump out the next set of cups for the next convention.
Yeah.
And even though realistically I could plan out that time, it's like my brain gets scrambled thinking about it. So anyway, the greatest gift is the gift of inspiration.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, all right. Oh.
Oh, I want to dance with somebody.
Oh, she gets in her Subaru.
I want to feel the heat with somebody.
Oh my God.
And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Mud Peddlers. We would love to hear from you, so if you want to share your thoughts about the episodes or just see what Donte and I are working on in our studios, come say hi. You can find links to my social media at lindseymdillon.com. That's LINDSEY, M as in monster, DILLON.com.
And you can visit my pottery shop or see what I'm working on at earthnationceramics.com. And you can find me all over social media at Earth Nation Ceramics. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled.
And if you want to support the show, hear some bonus episodes, and see some behind the scenes of my work, you can support me and the show at patreon.com/Lindsey M Dillon. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.